Welcome, everybody. We are going to start a program now. This program is going to be about how to build a brilliant auric field, okay? Using the auric field for what it's made for, a force of electromagnetism, using that force consciously and creatively to attract to you in your life all that you desire to attract to you, and to simultaneously repel things from you. Not that we have to worry about pushing things away per se, but every force of attraction is also a force of repulsion. So every magnet is pulling something to it. It's also pushing something away from it, okay? So what we're gonna do is we're actually gonna work our way up the chakric ladder so as to create a brighter and brighter auric field. One of the ideas that I want to share with you, one of the teachings, the concepts, however you want to look at this, about these types of practices, about the practice of building a bright auric field, is that first and foremost, in my opinion anyway, we need to clear out some of the junk, some of the residue, some of the sludge from the lower chakras, and we need to work our way up the ladder. And that's exactly what we're going to do today. We're going to work our way up the ladder. So we're going to start at the root. We're going to work ourselves all the way to the crown, and then we may go, you know, back and forth in betwixt and in between to dialogue different energy centers and so on. So we're going to start off right now with some physical practice, which is purposeful. We're going to work with the root chakra. We're going to use the physical body for what it's made for on the level that it is. It's made to move. So let's go ahead and move it. So we're going to move it. We're going to do some practices. We're going to get into some of these exercises to create some general movement and some buildup in the root chakra. And then we're going to move our way up the ladder. And as we move our way up the ladder, we will dialogue as well what these energy centers represent and how they may or may not be showing up in your life or attracting things into your life, or how they may be repelling other things in your life. So without further ado, let's go into some physical practices. First little warm-up session. Get some energy moving in our body, get our physical body moving a little bit, okay? Shake as you come down, shake as you go up. Out to the sides, up to the sky. And down. One foot comes forward, move this arm, rotate this arm forward. Just in a light circle, let's create some movement. No need to move too quickly and hurt yourself. Just open this shoulder up, shoulder blade, so that we can get some of the general energy moving and circulating. And let's go back the other way. And switch to your other side. Good. And another shake. Shake that leg. Shake that leg. This leg. This leg. This one. This one. Let's reverse this. Oh. This one. This one. This way. This way. This way. Good. Remember this one? Down, around, to the front, down. Move the top of your head, come around. This one now, thumb goes to the ear. See the thumb going to the ear? Move your head. Come around, let this come up to the area of your armpit. This one, thumb, like you can put it in your ear, then move your head. Come around. Not too fast, moving. Around. This one, it's up. Thumb, like it's gonna go in the ear. Then you move this way. This one. This one. This one. Good. Remember this? From here, it says inhale. And with this one, remember, throw the energy up the spine. Now we're gonna need a rock. 1, 2, 3. Come up on the left, breathe in. Exhale. 1, 2, 3. Inhale. 1, 2, 3. Inhale. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Here. Just tapping, light tapping, or strong tapping, whichever you prefer. Up here, arms, down, arm, shoulder, shoulder, down the arms, and sides. Here, on the head. Sorry for that loud clapping noise. Tapping, using your fingertips to tap. Tapping the head, tapping the skull. A little alternating, 1, 2, 1, 2. Same time, alternating. Exhaling, letting the breath come out. Step out. Settle into a little bit of a horse stance. Breathe up and in, exhale. Up. Let it calm down. Up. Gather the heavens, planet and earth. Go the other way. Out. Imagine stretching your auric field now. Pull the earth up and through, spread it out, wide, 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 wide. Big auric field. Big. bright auric field. Every once in a while, look out to your left, look out to your right. Make it big, make it bright. Very good. Take a couple of deep breaths. Breathing deep. And shaking the hands again. And inhale and drop down. Right hand only comes up, swings, and drops down. Okay? Right hand only comes out. Right hand and arm comes into the center. It goes up like you're going to punch the ceiling. Arm rotates. Arm comes back in. Arm rotates out. From this position, same arm drops down. Okay? Arm drops to the outside. Excuse me for just a moment. Arm drops to the outside, arm comes inside, arm rises up, arm drops down, arm goes out to the outside. From this one, you're going to swing your arm around. Left arm goes down, left arm goes out. Left arm comes in, left arm goes up, left arm comes down and in, and it goes out. One more time, it goes down, goes out. In, up, in, out. Right arm now comes down, out, in, up, in, out. Left arm down, out, in, up, in, out. Switch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Switch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Switch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1. Be switching. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. These don't have to be very hard or very powerful. They can even be gentle, or there can be a little bit of tension. You can move through them with hardly any tension at all and just flow through those movements here, here, here. As you begin to understand the movement, just keep it flowing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Watch this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Breathe. Now, this one goes down. Your left arm goes down, okay? It goes out. Your right arm is going to extend a punch like this. The right arm now is just going to come back to this shoulder, your left shoulder, and it's going to drop down. It's going to go out. Then this one's going to punch, your left one. Then your left one's going to touch your left shoulder. Sorry, your right shoulder. It's going to go down. It's going to go out. Your right hand will punch. Your right hand, and this is a brain teaser, just do your best, follow along. You'll get it, I promise. Eventually you'll get it. So here's your right hand punching. Your right hand's going to come over and touch your left shoulder. Okay? It's going to drop down. It's going to go out. You're going to punch with your left hand. Your left hand, a punching hand. In order from here, this is a weird movement to just go from here to here. So instead of going from here to here, you have to just bring it back to touch your shoulder so you can go down. So there's bend in it, there's power in it, there's flow in it, okay? So you come here, you go down, you go out, then you punch. Then you touch, right shoulder, again, because it's weird to just go like this. So you come back, you have to chamber. You go down, you go out, you punch. Touch, down, out, punch. Touch, down, out, punch. Touch, 1, 2, 3, touch. 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 Opposite shoulder. 1, 2, 3, touch. 1, 2, 3, touch. 1, 2, 3, touch. 1, 2, 3. Okay, I know I lost something on that. Okay, take a deep breath. Good, and then just kind of step back, shake it out a little bit, tap if you desire. From here, you can go ahead and raise this leg up and out. So your knee goes up, if you can, like however high you can do this, go up, go out, even if it's like here, or if it goes higher for you, that's fine. We're going out like this, up and out. And you can either go touch, or you can just leave it in the air. Later, if you have the skill to do it and the room to do it, okay? And if you're at home right now watching and you have a lot of room, you can go ahead and try this if you want. Don't hurt yourself. But what you can also do later is from having this right leg back, you can bring the foot, the right foot, let's say, starts back, and then you can bring it forward and go out. So it's just real easy, and it swings out. This is just to loosen up the hip, and it's just real slow, okay? Out. And again, it can be down here, okay? Or it can be up here. Whatever's comfortable, but easy. It's just 1, whatever's easy for you. 2, 3. Then on this side, 1, 2, 3, just to loosen up the hip. So if your hips don't work like that anymore, you don't need that exercise. But if you're young and your hips want to get a little more energy going, then instead of just the knee, you can also use the foot. Okay? Knee, foot, knee, foot, knee, foot. So loosen up the hips. Then here. A little tapping. From here, leaning off to one side, working, tapping one leg. One leg. Like this. Okay. And just like that. Good. Right hand now. Circle in. Go out. In, like towards your left shoulder. Out. Creating a whirlpool here. Other hand just down to your side. Now with the left hand, in towards your other shoulder, circle. A few more. Good. And again, just kind of shake it out. Go ahead and stand back. Your right leg is back, your left leg is forward. Just basically want to be in a position where you're not going to fall down, okay? From this position, this hand is going to wave in, your right hand, your back hand towards your left shoulder. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Your left hand goes 1, 2, 3, back towards your right shoulder. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Now, right hand goes to the left shoulder. Left hand goes to the right shoulder, and as it does, let the right hand fall down, low. As the right hand continues, it goes back to the left shoulder. Let the left hand come down low. So your right hand should be on your left shoulder right now, okay? Then my left hand is going to go to my right shoulder. My right hand settles down, it's down here. Then my right hand is going to come up to my left shoulder as my left hand is on its way down. So you're going to get this circling movement where I just brush my shoulder. I brush my shoulder. I brush my shoulder. Brush. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now I don't need to touch the shoulder. I can just touch the energy there. Once I understand it. Now I'm a little further away from the shoulder. If I understand it, I don't need to touch the shoulder. But as soon as you forget what you're supposed to be doing with your hands, touch the shoulders. And then it'll make more sense. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1. Good. Let's go to the other side. Step back. Back hand to the front shoulder. Front hand to the back shoulder. This arm goes down. 1, 2. Again, you can just think, sweep it, sweep it, sweep it, sweep it, sweep, 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 sweep. Once you understand it a little more, 1, 2, you get this continuous motion. Into your center line, in toward your center line, in toward your center line, in, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Good. Breathe in, drop down. Good. So, however you want to stand, I'm just going to stand a little bit like this with this sort of split-like position, so my head stays within the camera. But if you want to stand straight, or you want to stand in horse stance, whatever you want to do for this next one. So any practices like this, they're all working with root chakra. Are they working with the rest of your body's energy centers? Yes, they are. But is it very specific? No, it's not very specific on the level that it's not. It's addressing the overall flow of energy through your body. So does that include blood? Of course. Does that include qi? Of course. Does that include electrical conductivity and cellular messengers? Absolutely. Does it include activating some, if not all, of the energy centers? Yes. But then there are more specific practices. And if we want to become more specific and we want a particular result, or we're practicing for a particular reason, okay, then we can begin to be more specific about what we're doing with our practices, why, and so on, because intention is very, very important. So initially, let me just move up and chat with you for a moment. We'll come back to some of these practices. Excuse me, I don't have a camera person to follow me around, so I just have to follow the computer. So with these practices, again, this is like a general flow. It's a general practice, but the root chakra is a big one. It's one of those chakras to overcome. It's one of those chakras to clear out, okay? And when we are working the way we just did, we are training and developing the physical body because we're using it. Anything you don't use, you start to lose. So as Dr. Oz says on the Dr. Oz show, for example, if you want to live to be healthy and live to be 100, practice Qigong, okay? I agree with that. One of the main reasons Qigong came about was for that exact reason, to help monks actually live longer. So working with your physical body is very important. If you want to keep it, you want to use it, you want to play in it or walk in it or whatever you want to do, then you have to use it. So to me, it's not so important. Again, if you have a lot of oomph and you want to practice those blocking motions with oomph, then go right ahead. If you want to practice using your qi, then you can do this. You can also just practice it's all good. It's all, in general, it is all going to work for you. And like the color red of the root chakra, it is going to help you purge and clear out that root chakra. Okay, so moving on now to the next chakra up the ladder. We're going to dialogue it just a little bit and then go right into some practices with it. And even the conversation about it is a practice. So if you're still standing there and you're practicing, make sure you're listening also to this contemplation, to this meditation, and where it is that we're going to lay our attention, because wherever your mind goes, there goes your energy. So the next chakra on the way up the ladder is the second chakra. It's been referred to by many master teachers, and I've referred to it many times to a lot of you as the emotional body, okay? The second chakra being the emotional body. The emotional body is that part of our being that is emotional. And so many of us don't like our emotions. We don't like to deal with our emotions. We don't like how they feel. We don't like what they say about us, and so on. So in working with that second chakra, we're looking to clear up some of that ooze and some of that sludge, okay? And for some of you, you may not even be aware of the sludge that lives in your second chakra, because that is a place that most people shut down. And if you eat enough food, if you smoke enough cigarettes, if you are very intellectual, if you dissociate, those are all different ways to accomplish the suppression and repression of emotion so that you don't even know that it's there. And when it rises, you just eat a big tuna sandwich and it will kind of go away for a little while. And or you go smoke a cigarette and that will make it go away for a little while. Or you just sort of sit in that energetic funk. And if you've ever done that, which I know a lot of you have, a lot of people have, I have. And so when you're sitting in that funk and you're allowing it 5 minutes, 10 minutes, too long, whatever that is, then also what you begin to do is you begin to trigger the mental body, which is the third chakra, associated with the third chakra, and you get all this mental rubbish happening. So anyway, we need to cut this off at the pass, and we need to work with the emotional body so as to eliminate some of that, get some of that out, okay? One of the greatest techniques that I know of in working for the emotional body, we already started it with the first set of practices, is something called, what is it? Any of you who know me, who I've taught before, what's it called? It starts with an H. It's the alchemical ingredient needed for change and transformation. It's usually used in most chemical reactions to get the chemical reaction to go. What's it called? It's called a catalyst. Starts with an H. It's called heat. Heat. Breathe it in. Heat. Okay, let's go ahead and deal with the second chakra. Let's work with the second chakra a little bit. I'm going to go ahead and move my chair back. You could also do this seated, but I'm going to do it standing. So follow along with me if you desire. The hands are going to go right at the navel center, right at the second chakra. In Chinese medicine and in Taoist practice, this is referred to as the lower dantian, this whole area down here, navel center, just below the navel center, just above the navel center, lower dantian. Holding your hands close to your body, right on your body, and holding them right up against the skin, at least, you know, the clothing and then the skin. The warmth of my hands are melting. It's melting right through my uniform. I can feel my hands as if they're right up against my belly. That's why I spoke like that, because it's as if I'm not wearing my jacket. I want you to begin to notice, if you do, this feeling that happens in the spine and happens in the body and in the musculature and so on. It's like a wave. Feels like this. Feels like an undulating wave. And it's coming up the spine. If you don't feel that yet, you don't feel anything. It's because you don't have enough energy moving yet. But for some of you who are practiced and you've practiced Qigong for a while, you're going to start to feel this wave starting to happen already. It makes you want to kind of rock and sway. That's the beginning of the Kundalini moving. If you remember the story of Kundalini, or if you've never heard it before, Kundalini is a concentrated chi, or prana, or ki. It sits right there at the base of the spine, and it's waiting to be provoked. It's waiting to be lit up. It's waiting for you to set it on fire and to cause its ascension. So go ahead and hold your belly and begin to set it on fire. By holding, by laying your attention there, that's how right now. That's the how. Also, for you at home, I'm talking and I'm demonstrating and I'm showing you things. But if you're at home, you're watching this, try and be as still as you can. If I was practicing on my own, I wasn't teaching you, I would practice like this. Now we're going to add a slow breath of fire. Breath of fire is an in and out through the nose, and it's going to be relatively slow. In, out, in, out, in, out, in, out, like this. So it's going to sound a little bit like this. You can hear me. The idea is your hands should be going up and down, your belly should be going up and down. You are attempting to create a fire in the basement, in the area of the navel center, in the lower dantian, and with your breath, you're looking to stoke the fire. You know those pumps that they have where you go like this to try and get the fire started and it's blowing air on it? That's what you're trying to do with your breath and your belly, causing it to go up, down, up, down, up, down like this. Once you feel like you're a little bit warmed up with that, you can also speed up the pace of your breath of fire. And every once in a while, if you feel like you need a little break from the breath of fire, you're just going to take a deep inhale and then exhale. And you could do that 2 times, 3 times, and then you'll go right back into breath of fire. So let's continue with breath of fire. Eyes can be used open, or you can practice with them closed. If you start to get dizzy or something, just practice that is cease your practice for a moment, and you can also sit down if you need to, if it gets to be too much. Also, just cease the practice for a moment. A lot of people during this practice of breath of fire, especially if you're not practiced, you're not versed in the practice of Qigong, you will get lightheaded. You will feel like you're going to pass out. I highly recommend that if you're experiencing that, you sit down, because otherwise you will pass out. It's very possible that you will, okay? What's happening is that breath is clearing your energy system. The fire, your intention, is clearing the energy system, and that fogginess, that dizziness, that feeling like you're going to faint, that is related to the poison and the toxicity that is pouring into your bloodstream from the infrared transmissions from your hands and your mind in this clearing. And so as your tissues begin to purge, all of that toxicity goes into the blood. You may feel a little nauseous. You also may feel, some of you, like you're going to throw up. If you start to feel that and you're not an advanced practitioner and you're comfortable with that and you know what's going to happen next, then back off a little bit. Take your hands off and so on, and sit down if you need to. And otherwise, just continue on, because we're going to go a little further with this thing called breath of fire. If you notice having some yawns, like you're actually yawning, as I am, you're not just tired, you're actually cleaning out the energy system. You're moving through the energy system. At this point, you may feel some tension up in your shoulders and stuff from holding, and also the burn that's going on. Stay with it a little bit longer if you can. And if you need to take a break from it, take a break. And when you're done taking a break, climb back up and join in whoever else is standing next to you, or just with yourself or with me, and come back to breath of fire again, okay? Very good. Now, if you can, I'm gonna have you speed up this practice so the breath is more rapid, okay? And if you're comfortable with a rapid breath, go ahead and make it more rapid. And as you start to do that, you may feel all kinds of weird sensations in your body. You're gonna feel like tension, a very interesting and peculiar tension in your shoulders. You're gonna feel like almost like internal muscles and internal tissue that you didn't even know you had. And it's gonna be kind of like locking up a little bit. It's gonna be a little bit tense. And as you're breathing, you're getting weird sensations. Those quote unquote weird sensations, for lack of better description, those are trapped emotions. That's what you're feeling. You're feeling the energetic nature of trapped emotions. So we're going to burn those emotions up, clear them out through the breath of fire. So please continue. As you are continuing with breath of fire, or you're resting, whichever you're doing, okay? But all the while, even if you're resting, please keep your hands on your belly, okay? So Whether you're resting or you're continuing to practice breath of fire, I'm going to dialogue this area of your mind, body, being with you. So you're burning up the past. You know how teachers say, live in the now. Don't live in your past. Live in this moment. It is very, very difficult to live in this moment if you are carrying around the emotional memory of yesterday. So just intellectually saying, I'm living in the now, I'm living in the present moment, I'm not thinking about yesterday, that may be a good start in the right direction, but it may not get you anywhere at all because it's just an intellectual thought, okay? If it's just a thought on top of all of this emotion, then it's not doing you much good, okay? So we need to burn up the emotional past. And the emotional body cannot really be sorted out through the intellectual. The intellectual is a whole nother level, and we're going to get to it. It's our next body called the mental body, and that's in the third chakra. For right now, stay with your emotional body as much as you can. As much as you can, you're practicing breath of fire, in and out, in and out, in and out, in and out, and resting when you need to rest, okay? Nobody's watching you. You mind your own business. It's your business, okay? Don't worry about what somebody else is doing. Let them do what they're doing. You do what you're doing. Very good. In the next moment, go ahead and take 3 deep breaths. All right, so very good. If you are one of those people who needs to actually sit down, needs to rest for a moment, you need a break from the practice, need a little dialogue, need some information, then please take the opportunity to sit down, listen to a few moments of dialogue without the physical practice itself. If you're somebody who wants to continue the practice, go right ahead, continue the practice, breath of fire, breathing in and out through the nose, or simply standing and holding your navel center. And again, whenever you need to, you rest, you sit down, okay? But just do whatever you can do, okay? Make sure you mind your business, mind your body, understand what works for you, what's comfortable, and so on, okay? So again, go ahead and take 3 deep breaths. Otherwise, continue breath of fire, okay? Any unfinished business, and I'm just going to switch it up a little bit here. I highly recommend, if you desire, to continue to practice and practice from a standing pose, if you desire, and listen to the dialogue while you're practicing. Again, if you need a rest, you can take this opportunity to rest. I'm just going to take the opportunity to get a little closer to the camera. And for those of you who want to listen to a little bit of dialogue and understand this a little bit more, I'm going to speak to you for a moment. So in the navel center, again, emotional body, anything that you're holding there, and boy, are we holding a lot, most of us, okay? I still am after years of practice. I know I still have a lot to burn up there. We hold a lot in our navel center, a lot in our belly, and it is unfinished emotional information, content, data, yesterday's news. So even if you left your old boyfriend, your old girlfriend, your old husband, your parents, like whoever you journeyed with in this lifetime, whoever you've left behind, unless you have healed your emotional past in relationship to the navel center, the emotional body, and what's held there, then you don't get to move on in your life. So what does that mean? It means that you will attract similar people to the people of your past. And even if the people look totally different, like you get a new boyfriend, you get a new job, you get a new boss, and they seem very different. The one boss was tall and skinny. The other boss is big and heavy. One talks really loud and deep voice, and the other one hardly talked at all. Like whatever it is, those opposites, if you really look at them, they're the same, okay? They're the same. So somebody who talks too much and somebody who talks too little, those people can be the same. The way you have to evaluate it is you have to evaluate it based on the emotional content. So the people in your life, the people who surround you in your physical life, whether it's in your job or it's who you come home to or who comes home to you, whatever that looks like, those people are mirroring back to you your unfinished emotional business. And if you are not able to accept them, love them, etc., like they challenge you, okay? Or this person over here, they really challenge you. Somebody who really challenges you is really showing you loud and clear how you feel about yourself. You know, the person that comes in and complains about all their problems, and they complain about their body, and they complain about the pain in their back, and they complain about how little money they're making, and they complain about whatever's going on. If something like that, if it really bothers you, okay, it used to really bother me. That doesn't bother me anywhere near the degree that it used to. Why? Well, because I'm over it. Emotionally, I'm over it. So it doesn't bother me. If somebody comes in and does that, I can have compassion for them, okay, a bigger compassion than I ever used to be able to have, and sit with them and just breathe and be okay with it. If you're not okay with it, then what that person is reflecting back to you is they're reflecting back to you a hidden mood. They're reflecting back to you a hidden content, a hidden set of data and of information. So a big recommendation, if you have anybody in your life who's in your life right now that is challenging you, and like when you go home from work or you go home, vice versa, if you go home from work and like there's a person at work and you're like, oh my gosh, that person, I just can't stand that person, and you go tell your wife or something, or literally you're at work and you're like, I can't stand my girlfriend or whatever, and you go home to your girlfriend, like whatever it is, okay? That person's a gift to you, because whatever they can't own, whatever they haven't owned, whatever they have not transcended, okay, you also have not transcended. How do you know? Well, it's very simple. Take a test. The test is go visit them, go sit with them. If you can sit with them for 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, 1 hour, and whatever they're going through, whatever story they tell, whatever their journey, if it doesn't bother you, you're over it. You're free. If it bothers you, if it provokes you, if you're like, I can't stay here another 5 minutes and listen to this person, I can't stay here for another 2 minutes, that person is showing you what you have not yet healed. So when you go home later at night, or your boyfriend or girlfriend or whatever leaves the house and they're still challenging you, okay, or your boss on the level of your mind is challenging you, I challenge you to hold your navel center from standing tree meditation or seated meditation and to begin. Literally, think about that person. You know how many people sit there and they're like, I better not think of that person. I can't stand thinking about him anymore. I just can't get him off of me. And some quote unquote new age folks will talk about, their energy's all over me. They're not keeping their energetic boundaries. Forget about that. You can go from that perspective if you want to, and I did. There was years I trained that, but honestly, I personally believe take them in, and literally breathe them in, and then set that emotional content, whether you're angry at them or you're frustrated or you're afraid of them or you feel disempowered, like whatever it is that you feel, take that whole thing, feel it to the best of your ability and set it on fire. Now, in terms of light and in terms of auric fields, okay, think of a mirror, like the mirror in your bathroom. If you turn the light on in your bathroom and there's a mirror in there and there is like an oil film, like a film of oil on the mirror, you know what I'm talking about? Somebody smeared something on there, or somebody got some mousse or some hairspray or something on there. And from that position, okay, it just kind of cracks me up. Maybe there's a mousse on your mirror, I don't know. Anyway, but mousse in your hair, right, on your mirror. And you go and you wash that off, and it creates even more of a smear, okay, on the mirror. And the light, what happens to the light? It's not really bright, right? It doesn't shine off there. It doesn't reflect off of there very well, okay? But if you keep washing it, you keep washing that film off, and depending on what it is, and depending on how oily it is, and so on, it may take a while to get that off the mirror. That's what the emotional body is like. So when you're doing your breath of fire and you're breathing in, out, in, out, in, out, in, out, in, out, you are cleaning that mirror, okay? And so as you clean that mirror, it is going to reflect back a greater light, a more profound light. Now, what gets you stuck and involved with other people, okay, at work or at home in terms of emotional engagements, whether it's anger or fear or depression or frustration or whatever it is, okay, love or hate or disgust or envy or greed or jealousy, all of it, or guilt or shame, okay? What gets you in these dynamics with people is the actual energy playing back and forth between the two of you. And the more that you interact with each other, the more you engage with each other's energy, okay? So if someone's in your life and you're engaging with them in any way, shape, or form, best to engage with them consciously, even if they're showing up in your life as an enemy or a challenge or a frustration, whatever it is. So again, you can think about them, and in the navel center, you're breathing in, out, in, out, in, out, in, out, in, out. This is to clear the emotional body. So just to clarify, in the first, and take a deep breath, if you're still practicing, rest for a moment. Okay, take a breath, and let's just briefly go over what we've talked about thus far so that we can move on to the third chakra, the third energy center, the mental body, okay? So in the first practice, we talked about working with the root and working with the whole body, which represents the root chakra, and practicing these physical practices and actually using your physical body. So if your finger doesn't work real well anymore and you have arthritis in it, start learning to move it more and more and more. In general, that right there, that's Qigong, okay? Move it as far as for the physical practice, keep moving it. If it's the hand, learn to start moving the whole hand, okay? Moving the whole body, using the physical body before you lose it. If it's your eyes and you're having challenges with your eyes, or you have like glasses, reading glasses, things like this, practice using your physical eyes. I don't do this a lot in terms of teaching you all, but I do this at home myself a lot. So looking to the right, looking to the left, looking up, looking down, rolling the eyes all the way around, rolling the eyes all the way around, closing the eyes, opening the eyes, closing the eyes, opening the eyes, rubbing the hands together. This is all still physical body stuff. Hands over the eyes, bringing healing energy to the eyes, okay? Second chakra, we're dealing with emotional stuff, okay? So one of the practices today that I gave you, there are other practices which I may share with you as this little workshop goes on here, as this webinar goes on. Save it for another time because there are other ways to address the second center. But we're going to move on now to the third center. So first center, physical practices, movement, move that body or lose it, okay? Second center, the practice of setting emotional content on fire. There will also be a webinar that I'll teach relatively soon, specifically about those relationships in your life and how to literally bring miracles and magic and healing into those relationships at work. I've already given you the short version of how that works. You simply take the emotional content that you're feeling on an energetic level, you set it on fire with breath of fire. This is one of the techniques that you can use to begin to change the dynamic of those relationships in your life. And when you are successful in that, you get to pass the test, you get to move on to a new set of people, okay? Or new and improved people within the same person, okay? So in other words, they'll come up with you. There's a magic that can happen there, a miracle that can happen there. If one of you was to go home and practice Qigong, it doesn't matter if the other one's practicing Qigong. It would help you get there quicker, but it doesn't matter on the level that it doesn't because one person can make the difference. Okay, number 3 now, the mental body and clearing this aspect of the auric field and bringing that lemony yellow color in and bringing it from a dull sort of vibration and a lower vibration to a higher quality and working with the mental body. So in a moment, I'm going to show you some physical exercises, but first, just a dialogue just a little bit longer about the third chakra and the mental body. So in this particular aspect of the being, this has a lot to do with the internal no. The internal no, the doubter, you know, the one that doubts you, the doubting Thomas that lives inside of us. Self-doubt, okay? I can't. No, I can't. No, I'm not good enough. I'm not good enough comes from the second chakra, and yet the third chakra and the consciousness of the third chakra will say things like, I am not good enough. I am not worthy. Okay, a lot of that lives in the solar plexus. So I'm going to teach you a couple of physical practices to empower the solar plexus And therefore, as again, we're moving up the ladder, and as we move up the ladder, the auric field is going to get a lot lighter and a lot brighter as we clear out a lot of the clouds and a lot of the oil and a lot of that kind of debris, okay, from the past. All right? Very good. Just doing a time check. Bear with me. Okay, so in this next practice, we're going to start with this one. You're going to go back into that stance. Your right foot is back. Your left foot is forward. This position, the hands are going to come up like you're a karate or a kung fu person, okay? And you don't really have to fight anybody. It's on the level of your mind. You're going to stand in this pose, okay? Take a deep breath. I want you to be a little bit alive and a little bit awake in this pose. So the first thing is you're moving your hands a little bit. Your hands are open. Your hands are closed. I don't want you to be too tense up here. Just a little bit of energy. Like you're guarding a door. You're literally sitting there. Nobody and nothing is coming through here. If it comes through here, I'm not going to have you punching, okay? But I'm going to have you right now. I don't want you to punch. I just want you to think from that energy like, I would punch it. I would knock it out. I would knock this thing out from here. So you could literally, for example, if you want to be a creative alchemist, you could put a picture of some challenge that you're confronting that scares you, that you keep saying no to, you keep doubting yourself about it, and you can put that thing up there, put that picture up there like it's your nemesis, and you're sitting there and you're fighting with it a little bit. You're like, I will kick your butt. There is no way. I say yes. I say yes. I say I will conquer you. I say I will overcome you. So here comes the next piece now. With the mental body, think about it, the mental body. Does the mental body think? What do you think? It does. This is where words and affirmations can come in and empower your energy system and empower this weak part of your body, for some of you, called the solar plexus, okay? So from here, from this position, you're saying, and you can say it. If you want to say it out loud, you go right ahead. If you feel weird because you're practicing with other people tonight, you can whisper it, but later get a voice about it and say things like, oh yes, I will overcome this obstacle. I will overcome you. I will overcome you. I will overcome you. Yes, I will. Yes, I will. Yes, I will. And what are you saying yes, I will to? You're also saying yes, I will to that emotional content that says no, I can't. You're saying yes, I can. And you shake it out and you say yes, I can. And you shake it out and you say yes, I can. And you shake it out and you say yes, I can. And some of you may remember this one. You step back with your other foot now. Your left foot is back. You're imagining like you're holding a sword or a stick. And if you actually have like a broomstick at home, don't hurt yourself, but go outside or something. Don't break any lamps or anything in your house. But this is the other one, and there's a video on YouTube as well about this, the power of yes, the power of no. And taking a stick or a sword, you're holding it up in the air. And then from this position, this is just going to be easy. Sometimes we yell, we shout, whatever. But I just want you to say yes. It's slow. Very mindful, yes. Like you just cut it in half. Like you're cutting the ribbon at the finish line. Yes. 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 Now remember this. This is another yes pose. Go ahead and hold this pose here. Your knees are slightly bent. You're holding like a tree. Now remember, as soon as most of you go to this position, your body is literally going to go, no, I can't do that, because it hurts here, it's uncomfortable here, you know, it's all uncomfortable. So the moment you go like this, right away you're being faced with your no. So if you're like, well, I don't even know what you're talking about. What no? I'm not sure what you're talking about. What no are you talking about? I'm talking about the no that you feel in your body. The no. Feel it. If you feel it in your shoulders, you feel it in your neck, you feel it wherever it is, you feel it in your body, that's the no. So if you want to change that emotional no and that mental no and that energetic no, which is the most important part of it to change, okay, from my perspective anyway, is to change the emotional aspect, the energetic aspect, the mental aspect, but most importantly, again, energetic aspect of the no. This says yes. In order for you to hold this pose and hold this position, you have to have a strong internal yes. Because if you don't have a strong internal yes, then you can't hold the position. And if it's no, no, I can't, and you practice and then you're like, that's a no. And then you go back and sit on the chair, that's no, okay? That's a no. So this is a yes. And the way you can use the mental side of it in your Qigong practice, and the way you can use the words in your practice, is that you stand here, and every time you start to feel like you have to set your arm down, or you can't continue to do this pose, and again, be wise with this, okay? Everybody's in a different place with this pose. Some people can't do this pose for more than 10 seconds. You shouldn't feel bad about that. Don't worry about your neighbor or somebody who's younger than you who can do it for 20 minutes. It doesn't matter. What matters is can you face yourself? That's what matters. It's a chance for you to clear your own emotional content. There's a woman who practices this with me. She's still practicing. She's over 70 years old. This woman, she started out, she couldn't do this for more than 3 minutes. She practices this for over 25 minutes now. In a clip, 25 minutes, that's a long time for this practice, even though it can be practiced longer. 25 minutes is a strong practice, okay? And the idea also is that as you're saying yes, use the power of your mind to say yes. You can even use your voice out loud to say yes. You can say, yes, I can. What you also want to do, though, is that you want to speak to your musculature and keep trying to get your body to relax. So without moving it and shaking it out, you're just trying to get those shoulders. You're trying to talk to them, and you're saying, relax, relax, relax. And again, if you're just beginning with this, every once in a while you can do things like this. You can do things like this. Whew. Okay, whatever. And as you become stronger in your practice, you're trying to hold a strong pose past your comfort zone. This is what's most important. If your comfort zone ended at 3 minutes, that was the top of your comfort zone, you're like, I'm done. Then you try and do 3 minutes and 10 seconds, 3 minutes and 20 seconds, 3 minutes and 30 seconds. Now you've actually accomplished something. Tomorrow when your shoulders are sore, which they may be, shake them out, tap them out, put some castor oil on them, put some heat on them, go and get a massage, clear it out of there. Use your breath to say yes. Use your breath. Breathe in and say, yes, I can. Be full of attitude, full of attitude. In the solar plexus, in the mental body, one of the most important aspects of the mental body and working with the mental body to brighten up your auric field is to use the power of your will. So whether I'm marching up a mountain right now or I'm trying to hold a Qigong pose past my comfort zone, I am using the power of my will to say, yes, I can. Now, if you desire, you keep practicing this practice, please. And if you need a rest, rest. I'm going to continue to dialogue with you a little bit further on this particular pose and this particular practice, and then we're going to go into another pose, okay? So, with this particular pose, I just want you to think about this for a minute if it's helpful for you, okay? When you're practicing this at home or you're practicing this right now, I want you to realize something. That emotional content that you feel, that mental debris related to things like lack of self-worth, lack of motivation, lack of knowing, like I don't know anything, I don't know what I want, I don't know where I'm going, I don't know what I'm worth, like all of this stuff that's in many of our fields, okay? As you're working with that and you go to hold a pose like that and your body says no, okay? That is the same no that you would face if you went and ran up a mountain, okay? And if you're not a runner, you would face it a lot quicker than if you were a runner, okay? If you've never run before and you went to run up the mountain, you're gonna face that wall a whole lot quicker. Qigong is a much safer way, actually, on the level that it is, and especially if you're older and so on, it's a safer way to actually come up against that wall. You can also just do it in the privacy of your own home. And you don't have to do it in the same exact way, and yet it's very similar on the level that it is. So you're going to face that internal wall, and as you say yes, and as you continue to say yes by maintaining the pose, I want you to realize something. You're changing the dynamics of your quantum field. Your auric field is also dancing in a quantum universe, which basically for our purposes means that everything is now, everything's happening simultaneously. There are simultaneous realities interacting with each other ongoingly. And when we go into our practice and we change that emotional content and we say yes and we clear it and we transcend it, we get to go on to greater things. And it will affect everything in our life. Every person, place, thing, and event comes with you into every single Qigong practice. So when you change it in your living room, you're not just changing it in your living room, you're changing it everywhere in your world, okay? So that's in the solar plexus. So one more practice I'm going to give you for the solar plexus quickly. And I'm going to change the angle of the camera here, and I'm going to move. For some of you, you're definitely going to have to adapt this practice, okay? So what I'm doing is I am, you're not going to be able to totally see my feet, but basically my toes are on the floor, and I'm sitting on my heels, okay? Some of you are not going to be able to do that. So you're going to have to just go on your knees. Some of you are not going to be able to go on your knees. That's not going to be possible. So you'll sit on a pillow, okay? Or just sit on the floor, okay? And from this position, again, hardest position is I push my toes back. So like the ball of my foot, this area here, I'm going to go up onto those and I'm going to sit on my heel, okay? And my knees are together. And from this position, I'm going to sit down, okay? And then again, however you're seated, however this one works for you. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my right knuckle, okay, off the first finger, index finger, and I'm going to put it inside the other knuckle over here. I'm going to touch those points. No pressure or anything, just the tiniest bit of pressure, okay? And from this position, I'm going to start with my hands like this, okay? And then I'm going to roll my hands over so that they're like this, and they're about the level of the heart right here, okay? And then the next part of this is, first of all, if you're doing the whole position, you may find that this is very uncomfortable very quickly. For the rest of you who are like sitting down on a pillow, you might have to do this for 15 minutes to get the same kind of effect as the person who's actually sitting on their feet and sitting on their heels. For the person who is up on their knees, they're going to be challenged more than the person who's sitting down. You get the idea. So from this position now, it's a triple yes. It goes yes, yes, yes. And you're saying yes to your life. You're saying yes to that naysayer that lives in you. And you're saying yes to your whole energy system. And you're saying yes to holding this pose. And you're saying yes to all of that that represents an internal no. And you are speaking to the energy. And once again, you say again, yes, yes, yes. Yes, yes, yes. You can also do this at another time where you're facing your partner. You have a partner, you're facing each other, you look each other right in the eyes and right in the face, and you're saying yes to support the other person. They're saying yes to support you, and you say yes, yes, yes. This is saying yes, I can. Yes, I will. Yes, yes, yes. Breathe it in. Yes, yes, yes. Yes, yes, yes. Yes, yes, yes. Yes, yes, yes. One more. Yes, yes, yes. And wherever you are, if you can, you shout that out from your belly, okay? Once you're done, you're going to collapse onto the floor in some way, shape, or form. So it's like laying on your back or laying on your face or going into like a child's pose in yoga. So I'm just going to disappear from the camera for a moment. Good. In longer practice sessions, you will do this for longer periods of time. Obviously, you'll say yes. You could do like 33 yeses, for example. You can do it with a partner facing you. Both of those, it's gonna make it more powerful. Once you're done, you kind of collapse on the floor and relax and absorb the energy of what it is that you have created. Just like other practices that I've taught you, you can start out with 3 minutes, 5 minutes, go to 15 minutes, go to 21 minutes, go to 33 minutes, see what you can accomplish with this. My particular teacher who taught us this, we worked up to an hour with this particular practice, which is the longest I'd ever done it. And I found it personally to be a very profound practice. So this is for the third center. Moving on, we're going to go to the fourth center. In the fourth center, and of course, as we're doing this, realize we're taking the energy up, 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 up. This is the idea, okay? And we're gonna move through this rest of the program relatively quickly. We got about another 15 minutes left of the program. We need to cut it just a little bit early based on the amount of tape that I'm able to record at this current time to then put the video onto YouTube and so on. So, what we're going to do next is we're going to come to the level of the heart center, okay? So with a deep breath, hold that intention to come into the heart center. Now what you're going to do is you're going to pick a practice, okay? Any practice, slow moving Qigong practice, pose practice, of course, one of my favorite heart-centered practices, which I'm going to stay in for you, and I'm going to be seated, but you can do it standing. You hold the intention now to come into the awareness of the heart center. And one of the quicker ways to begin to work with the heart center and begin to actually access it is to actually think of someone in your life who sparks your heart, who makes you feel love when you think of them. So it can be an animal, it can be a sister, a brother, a mother, a daughter, a friend, a girlfriend, a boyfriend, whatever it is. hold an image of that person, and it doesn't have to be one. If you're like, well, I don't know who to choose, there's so many people that I love, then just let the images of those beings come across your mind as you hold the intention to feel, to experience love, and simultaneously to offer those entities love, because as you're thinking about them and holding them in consciousness, you're offering them love. And for some of you, everybody does their practice a little bit differently, in that some people are really good at visualization, some people are better at feeling, some people are good at both. So for you, you can just, if you're not like somebody who sees really well, who has really good visualization, you can just think about that person. And now what you're going to do is you're going to begin to hold the intention that you're sending energy from this program, from all of the energy that we have gathered as a group all around the country, that we've gathered as a group, that we're going to send energy to whoever we think about. So go ahead and pick your first person. I know you've already thought of people and so on, but pick one person right now. Think of that person. Say their name in your own mind. Say their name 3 times. And then imagine, with a breath in and a breath out, that energy's going to that person, going to that being. And think of your next person. Breathe those people in, those 2 people, or that one person, or those 3 people. Breathe them in. Very specific entities though. And go ahead and, with an exhale, send that energy out, and imagine that some of the energy from this program is going to them. You're essentially praying for them, sending energy to them. Activating your own heart center. Just like we talked about the physical body earlier, and we said that if you don't use it, you lose it. The heart is the same. You have to use it, or you will lose your awareness of it. Now pick a random person, or not necessarily random, but maybe somebody that is not on your love list, okay? Not necessarily somebody you love, but somebody who could really use somebody's love. And go ahead and hold that person in your consciousness. Breathe them in, and if you know their name, or you just happen to have seen them on the street somewhere, whatever it is, go ahead and hold their name in your consciousness. Their image, their hologram, the hologram of their body. Hold it in your mind and say to that being, I offer you love, I offer you light, I offer you peace, I offer you compassion, I offer you hope, I offer you adventure, I offer you illumination. We now are starting to exercise the 5th chakra in conjunction with the 4th, by using the voice and speaking, okay? Using our voice box, especially if you're speaking out loud, to speak, I offer you love, I offer you light, I offer you compassion, I offer you peace. Then breathe in another breath, pick another person. I offer you love, I offer you kindness, I offer you compassion, I offer you peace. And with the breath in, contemplate another person. I offer you love. I offer you kindness. I offer you compassion. I offer you peace. And for me, as I'm doing it, I'm seeing, 3 entities, 2, 5, jump into my head at the same time. It's all good. Main idea is wherever you focus on, whatever you focus on, you're sending energy to those entities, okay? I offer you love, I offer you light, I offer you compassion, I offer you peace. Very good. Exercising the 5th chakra. The 6th chakra gets exercised the moment you start to work with your creative visualization even more. So begin to imagine now, pick someone in your mind pick a person, two people, whatever it is. And we are now going to use the sixth center to visualize a bright light. It can be like a white or a golden light, clear light. It can be a violet light. And you're going to use that light, whatever you're drawn to use right now. And it can change with each person and so on. But you're going to begin to play with this idea, okay? And so you're going to image that person in your mind, and you don't have to see them perfectly. The main idea is that they're on your mind, and you're going to begin to send them this light. How do you do that? Well, you just intend to do it. And you see the light in your mind, and you see the person. You see an image of that light. You can send that light to their house, to their home. You can see it fill their living room. You can see it fill the kitchen. You can see it moving like a wave through the house. You can see it surrounding your loved ones. You can bring in a golden spark of light into that violet flame that maybe you were using or are using. And you can bring that into a person's body, their being. You can move to another person now. You image a light sweeping across the sky, moving like the wind. And it comes to this person. And it brings a soothing and a healing and a clearing and a catharsis. And then you move on to another individual using your creative visualization, moving like the wind in your mind, like the wind, a wind of light. Moving across the country, moving across the globe, to come to someone's living room, to come to someone's bedroom, to come to someone's house, to come to their car, to come to their place of work, wherever they are, blessing them, bringing them this energy, holding the intention that it is awakening, holding the intention that it is clearing. Looking at all the different places that you're going, almost like you and your mind are like fireworks going out into these different directions. And then you can slowly go ahead and allow that pose to cease. Whether you choose to stand or you choose to sit, we're going to conclude our program here in the next 10 minutes. With a meditation practice, I ask you to close your eyes. I would ask you to be still, whether you're standing or seated. And I'm going to ask you to hold the intention to experience the seventh chakra, the crown chakra, your own communion with the divine, the ending of duality, the beginning of unity, consciousness. Begin to move your mind to the best of your ability so that your own awareness is hovering above the head, above the crown chakra, up here. And if it's helpful to you and you cannot get a sense of above your head with your own mind, you can actually bring your hand above your head until you can get a sense of this area of your being, this area that lives above your head. For a moment, if you desire, come down and you're going to use your middle finger or your index finger to activate this point at the crown. There's like a little indentation up here in your skull. You don't have to find the exact place, but just in general, if you want to find it specifically, you can try that. And otherwise, just in general, come up here and make some circular movements with your finger, pushing down into the crown of the head to activate this area. This is an area that for most people is blocked, and they have lost their awareness, therefore, of what lives above it, so to speak. And so holding the intention to activate this, to stimulate this. People who have trouble sleeping, this is often a very blocked point in those folks. People who eat a lot of sugar, this is a point that becomes blocked. Once you've stimulated that for a little bit, go ahead and let it go again. Hold the intention to be still with me, even if you have no idea how to practice stillness. See if you can practice being still with me. See if you can feel my vibe. Or should I say, feel what I'm intending to vibe with, which is what lives in the seventh. We're going to add a mantra to this now, a thought that you're going to use in your meditative practice. The thought is, the mantra is, be still. You're going to whisper this to yourself. Know that I am the light. Be still. Know that I am the light. Be still. Know that I am the light. Be still. Be still and know that I am the light. Be still, very still. Know that I am the light. And go ahead and take 3 deep breaths. You can keep meditating if you desire. but I want to say some concluding things to you all from these practices. So the seventh chakra, which maybe sometime perhaps I will set up a program, one of the next upcoming webinars, I can set up a program where we work only with the seventh, so to speak, even though there's no such thing exactly, but where we focus and we emphasize the seventh. Because right now I'd love to enter into another program with you for another hour to take you much deeper into the seventh, okay? But in order to really gain access to some of these places, we need to work our way up the ladder. You can see in this program that I've taught you that it's not just one chakra, and it's not just one thing that you do to get there, okay, or change your life or transform your life. You have to work your way up the ladder. There are other teachers who might teach you differently and different methods and so on, but that's how I would teach you, and that's how I've learned, and that's how I've experienced it. And so I share that particular way with you, that idea with you, to incorporate the physical and bring it with you, to incorporate and integrate the emotional and bring it with you, to use the mental to override the emotional in the moments that you need to, through the power of will, not just intellect and ignoring and suppressing what's going on in your emotional body, to use the heart center and actualize it, use it, practice with it, so that you do not lose your awareness of it. Be a loving being. Do not just think mentally of love, exercise love. Exercise your voice and the power of your voice to speak out into the world and use it as a creative force. Another seminar perhaps, all about the voice, using the power of your words over your body, over energy, over your life, okay? The third eye, using creative visualization. Finally, the seventh center, and using the seventh center, accessing that and accessing the higher God that lives inside of you, source consciousness. And in order to access that place, we have to be very, very still, because of the resonance and the vibration of that place. And using that mantra, okay, that says, be still and know that I am the light. Meditating on it over and over and over, because inside your being, guess what? You know everything. There's nothing I can tell you that in somewhere in your being you don't know. So I hope this evening I have helped you, assisted you to wake up to what you really know about the most important thing there is, you. Because you're one with everything. I thank you for joining me tonight. And for the recorded version and the recorded purpose, this has been David J. Coon with Qigong Awareness, QIGONG, awareness.com. Those of you who have joined me live, thank you so much. Please feel free to stick around a little while wherever you are. Continue this practice. The recorded version of this will be up soon and available for purchase if people want to buy it. Thank you again so much.